Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday, day after Labor Day. All right. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend. So, I've been doing some research. I've been watching a whole lot of videos. Tucker Carlson has actually been out and podcasting like crazy, doing a lot of interviews, especially with the Prime Minister of Hungary. I don't know if you guys seen that on X. These are a lot of things that you're not going to be able to find unless you're kind of looking for them. So I kind of want to bring them out to the light for you guys. So I got three different videos I recommend you guys watching. Okay, so the first one is the interview. I'm sure most of us have seen it. I've seen snippets of it, but it's a 45-minute interview. I recommend going watching it. So Tucker Carlson interviews the ex-president Donald Trump before he goes, the day before he gets arrested, and 5 minutes before the GOP candidate debate. All right, so we got number two video I recommend going watching is Tucker Carlson flying all the way to Hungary. So if you guys don't know where Hungary is on the map, it is bordering Ukraine. All right, so if you wanted the scoop on what's going on uh, in Ukraine and everything that everybody else sees clearly, he'd probably be a good person to go talk to. And then the prime minister, who I'm saying. And then lastly, he goes on to the Adam Corolla show and he starts talking to Tucker Carlson about what's going on in politics and uh, you know what's going on with the Donald Trump. So let's go ahead and start off. So Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump have the interview 5 minutes before the GOP national debate. Okay, uh, we've covered that topic already about Vivek killing it, Nikki Haley, Ron DeSantis, and Chris Christie. So before that was going on, Trump and Tucker Carlson were having an interview. So the things that really popped out for me on that part of the interview was the part where they were talking about Bill Barr and Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so they were almost putting it in your face and saying, I'm not the person that's going to talk about it, but let's put it into perspective. This man had all the things in the world that he could ask for, you know, but all of a sudden he goes into jail and now this sense of depression goes over him and now he decides to commit suicide. Like, obviously he did a lot of bad things, and to want to live with that burden could be pretty tough. But I'm sure, like most of us, believe that he was killed. Okay, and I'm not gonna go into it because I don't know much about anything. If you guys want to learn about what was going on Epstein Island and all that stuff, uh, I forget her name. I think it's Amy Webb. She is a great journalist. She's all over the PBD podcast. She talks about Bitcoin. Damn, I wish I had her name for you guys, but yeah, yeah, I think it's Amy Webb. She's great, and she has two books out. The Black Male Over America, I believe that's called. I'm gonna start reading those too, but I recommend going check her out. So they start talking about obviously how he committed suicide, but because he had a lot of dirt on the intelligence community, on a lot of high profile people, you know, and if any of that had to have come to the light, I'm pretty sure it would have been easier off to cut off loose ends. You feel me? So Tucker Carlson and Andrew Tate have been talking about what happens if all the tactics that they use on a high profile individual doesn't work. So, there's So let's take Donald Trump for example, right? When he first stepped into office, there was huge amount of protests going on to try to get him out of office, right? That's step number one, protests. Number two, uh, they tried to impeach him twice during his presidency. All right. Number three, they indict him. So now he was facing trial. Now he went to jail. He turned himself in. All right. And he's going to get out on bail, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% on that part. I'm sorry, you guys. And then four, what is the next step? If they can't tarnish your reputation, you get more and more famous every time they lock you up, every time they even talk about you on the news. You get more and more famous. What is going to happen? What is their last resort? And, you know, I'm not going to say it out loud, but if something happened to Donald Trump in his airplane, or if, you know, all of a sudden some random shooter shot up his hotel while he was there, it would be kind of crazy to think about, wouldn't you think? So the next election is coming around the corner. We're about a couple months before they start getting on stages and start talking about the debate. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I think that this is some crazy stuff happening in a short amount of time, and to be thinking about historically, just historically think about this. This is a moment that, you know, most of us are probably just sitting and watching that TV and, you know, don't put two thoughts into it. But historically, one of the American presidents of the United States has been indicted into and getting locked up. There should be, I don't want to even like say it like that because everybody should fall under the law, but for the stuff that they're going after him for, um, it kind of dumbfounds me because the image that they should try to protect is power in the United States, and using your police force to go after your president that's not even sitting. And just because you guys know that he's going to be running in the next presidential campaign, the next presidential election, that you're doing everything that you can to make sure that he's not going to be president, which is in turn making him more famous than he already is. So this is a big game of chess, and they're using the same moves every single time. Like, look at what happened with Andrew Tate and how they tried to tarnish his reputation and how they're uh, having him indicted. All right. And he's even scared of, he's even telling you guys out loud that he's scared that that one day he's going to wake up and that he's going to be dead, or not wake up, basically. You know, and he's telling you to your face, like, I am a very happy man. I'm not ever going to kill myself. You know, so a couple of things that you should watch out for right there. So on the second video, so Donald Trump also goes in on Joe Biden about how he's the most corrupt president. He takes the label off of Hillary. It's no longer Crooked Hillary, it's Crooked Joe now. They talk about he's been talking about this since before we found out about the Hunter Biden laptop, about how he's been taking stuff from China, taking bribes from China, just like Trudeau. If anybody knows what's going on in Canada, just like Trudeau. Uh, we all know Trudeau is China's little fuck puppet. All right. So I'm not gonna say anything about Joe Biden, but I'm sure all of you guys have your own opinion about him. I'm not here to bash him. I'm here to put facts out into the world. So the next video is Tucker Carlson going all the way to Hungary and sitting down with the prime minister, and they start talking about, like, you know, geopolitics. They start talking about like the Nord Stream pipeline, and basically saying that there's another pipeline heading from Ukraine all the way to Hungary and feeds that lower section of uh, that lower section of all those continents through that pipeline. And they were basically saying is like, hey, if anybody decides to, blow this pipeline up, it's going to be an act of terrorism, and fuck NATO, we're coming after you, America. So it's, as far as everybody is saying, or as far as that interview goes, it was pretty prominent that the United States blew up the Nord Stream pipeline, because why would Russia blow up their own pipeline? And in turn, almost destroyed Germany. Europe went without fuel for a long time. It was pretty detrimental. They also start talking about what's going on with the presidential debate, and how he wishes, or how he hopes that President Trump comes back into office, because he is genuinely scared about what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, and how this could turn into the next world war very, very, very quickly. And it's very high tensions out there in Ukraine. And I highly recommend going and watch the video. I'm probably not doing any kind of justice, but they talk about Donald Trump, and how when he was in office, he was putting the middle finger up to the WEF. He was against socialism. He was against all this crap that is being pushed through the freaking propaganda machine. And how, right now in the country of Hungary, if a person wanted to move out there, they would still have to pay all the same taxes that you do here in America, plus the taxes that you have to pay out there in Hungary. And, they are being more sanctioned than Russia, which is the enemy of the United States, apparently. So, if that doesn't speak numbers or volumes for you guys, you know, this is an allied country to the United States that is being bullied economically through the tax system, and they have no reason to be quiet on what's going on in the political space. So everything that's coming out of this man's mouth is not because Tucker Carlson went over there and bribed him. He's a rich man. It's not because he sees political gain on hoping that Donald Trump comes into office. I'm sure that he doesn't. It doesn't matter to him. He's probably ready for anything. He has a whole country to run. But don't take my word for it. I definitely recommend going and seeing that video. It opens up your eyes to a different perspective. It lets you know that there are real human beings out there on the front lines in Ukraine, and it definitely changed my perspective on how I see the world and how I see Trump as a person as well. And then lastly, the Adam Corolla show with Tucker Carlson. He kind of goes on there and he starts talking about the same stuff, but he kind of goes into depth about his own career and what happened with him and Fox. And they also talk about what's going on with Donald Trump. Is it possible that they would put up some type of a hit on Trump, stuff like that? Uh, I just found it like a refresher of everything that was going on with Tucker Carlson. But if you guys, also talking about if World War III was to happen, those type of things. So those are the three those are the three videos I recommend you guys watching. It definitely changed my perspective on what's going on in the world, and it also showed me that whatever happens in the United States affects the rest of the world. So if you ever thought that your vote didn't count, you better just throw that shit out the window, because it does count. And it doesn't just count here in the United States. It doesn't just count in your county. It counts all around the world. So I hope you guys hear this message, and hopefully I reach the right people. So I'll keep making videos, you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys think.